and welcome to this week's episode of London 360.
Your one-stop show for news, where we bring you a vibrant mix of stories from across the capital.
London 360 shines a light on unique stories, keeping our ears to the ground in order to bring you the voices of London's hidden communities.
If you don't catch us on air, you can also get involved online anytime on Twitter and Facebook.
This week, we bring you stories of survival and success,
including how a local radio station got a new lease of life,
and why City Hall was buzzing with promising future leaders.
First up, Represent Radio has been a vital supporter of urban talent throughout the years, uncovering some of London's biggest talent.
Earlier this year, the risk of closure led to the youth-led community station initiating a crowdfunding campaign to keep its doors open.
London 360 went to meet the sound of young London.
A big shout out to everyone locked in and locked on. Friday afternoon, the sun is shining. This is Represent 107.3 FM, the Feel Good Friday show.
At Represent, we do things big, you get me? Yo, it's your boy Sammy Souls and the Decks.
We connect straight to young people. This is the sound of young London.
I want my show to be somewhere where it's a platform for all these MCs who spit about real stuff that's happening.
Peckham Bay's Represent Radio is the UK's only 24/7 radio station presented by people under 25. The radio station has 120,000 listeners per month, providing an important platform for aspiring music artists and youngsters wanting to get involved in the media industry.
Represent started in 2004, but became a youth-focused station in 2009. And then after a couple of years of being an internet-only station, the young people helped write an application to Ofcom to get a licence. And in 2011 they were successful and started broadcasting in April 2011.
Earlier this year, funding cuts meant that Represent nearly shut down. However, a successful crowdfunding campaign, which raised over £25,000 in the space of a month, kept the sound of young London loud and clear.
When I found out the situation Represent was in, I was going to my friends, be like, listen, Represent are really in a sticky situation, just donate a little bit, even if it's like 50p.
We had loads of donations. It was really, it was quite emotional seeing how much support that there is for Represent.
We decided to donate 4K to Represent because at Wandle, our community investment team operates through 6 key themes, which is neighbourhoods, young people, digital inclusion, volunteering, employment and training. All of the work that Represent are doing out in the community cuts across all of those themes. I've had the privilege of coming down to the studio. I've been able to see the life behind what actually happens at the forefront. I've been really impressed by what they actually do.
Absolutely love what Novelist's done and Lady Likes and Stormzy, but Nate getting a job at Ministry of Sound, working in the radio station there, that's what really is fulfilling.
I worked in this office for maybe 4 years. And I just, at one point, I thought, this is it. This is what it is. Without Represent, I would have just been sitting at that desk, watching the clock. I owe my life to it, really. Represent is the tastemakers of the young people of London, so which is, I mean, there's nothing else like it.
You know, you listen to other radio stations like Magic, Kiss 100. It's cool and everything, but then our stories ain't being told. Do you know what I mean? We need people like Wretch 32. We need Scorcher. We need, who do we need? We need people to tell our stories.
Represent care about the up-and-coming youth and what those young people have to say.
I do listen to Stormzy myself, and seeing him come out of Represent is really good, and really good for like young people growing up. They give us something to look up to.
You know, youth clubs are going, and it's like, what else are we going to do if Represent isn't still up and running?
The music that we're playing is relatable to other people. The things that we talk about is relatable, you know, the topics.
Nick Grimshaw, he's not going to connect to someone living in Peckham or something like that because he hasn't lived a certain way. We understand our listeners. There's things that our listeners go through that we've been through ourselves. Instead of them trying to represent us, let us represent us.
Imagine pitching your dream project at City Hall.
And not just that, but also securing financial support from the Mayor's Fund for London.
6 schools from across London have done exactly that.
Let's see how they pitch their way to success.
City Hall is where big decisions are made, including City Pitch Project. A group of young students have gathered at City Hall to pitch their ideas to a panel of experts. It is a daunting task even for adults. With a pot of money to share, can the students persuade the panel to part with their cash and turn their community projects into reality.
So City Pitch Project is part of the Mayor's Fund for London, where it enables kids to come up with ideas and get funding for them. I think it's really important to give kids at early stage business skills to help them see what the future's like for them. There's a huge, big, bright city out there that's waiting for them to be embraced.
6 schools from across London participated in the event, each pitching a community-focused project proposal, such as Families Day, Afternoon Tea for Elders, and multimedia production networks.
We have a dream, a passionate belief that our community can be stronger if different ethnicities, cultures and generations can appreciate and consider each other.
We believe that this project will primarily allow young people within our community to build on their general skills, enhance their productivity in the arts, music and creative sectors.
Not only will the fund give us the amazing opportunity to publish a rather nice book printed on high quality paper, but also we could host cookery sessions with parents and the help of our very own school chef who will give us further support and guidance.
And once a week, we could cook one of the 50 recipes from the book and celebrate this with members of the community and family too.
I don't know about everyone else here, but all this talk about food is making my stomach rumble.
There are 3 things that are unique about City Pitch Project.
First is the fact that it happens here in City Hall, you know, absolutely at the heart of a global city where really big decisions are made. Second thing is it's about giving young people real money to go and do something really positive in their community. And then the third thing is the young people. This afternoon, you would not believe the looks on children's and young people's faces as they stood up there and they made fantastic presentations, I think above and beyond their expectations, and that's what makes it such a joy.
Everyone pitched to impress, and their effort was rewarded with the funds they have requested for their project.
I've learnt a lot of confidence from doing this, from public speaking.
I think it's easier to pitch to my peers because obviously it gives me confidence, like everyone working together.
There was nothing like this when I was at school, and they are learning how to work as a team, how to communicate, how to persuade. It's a really powerful tool to have, and these children just do it so well.
Here at London 360, we love to give people a platform to have a say about their great city.
So we invite you to send us your stories, points of view, or even passionate rants.
This week's vlog star is Trey Gordon from Croydon,
who tells us about his view towards celebrity role models and how they represent themselves to young people.
Hello, my name is Trey Gordon and I'm from Croydon. Today I'm going to be talking about celebrities and their role as role models in today's society, particularly for young girls. I have an 11-year-old sister, and I just think that there's no one in pop culture that she can look up to. You might say it's the role of her family and her friends and her parents to make sure she develops into a responsible and well-rounded young lady. But as we know, young people look up to celebrities and they use celebrities' image and reflect that in their life, and that's where they get a lot of their values from. Back in the 80s and the 90s, you had artists like Whitney Houston and TLC promoting images about inner beauty being more important than outer beauty, safe sex and self-esteem. And if only we had that today, I think that would be so great for the young women of today. Not just the young women, but also the young men also.
That's it for part 1. Stick around to find out how theatre is championing freedom of expression.
And why one state school is going against all odds to nurture future athletes.
Welcome back to part 2 of London 360.
The show that champions the hidden communities in London and conveys the stories of Londoners.
From Magna Carta to VE Day, 2015 has been a year of landmark historical anniversaries in Britain.
Yet up until now, one of the most significant events in British history has never had a memorial built in its honour.
We went along to witness its unveiling.
It was an incredibly bloody battle, frankly. The casualty rate was enormous. But it is probably one of the most important battles in history because it led to 100 years of peace.
In honour of the bicentenary of the Battle of Waterloo, a new memorial has been unveiled at Waterloo Station. Created by the London Mint in conjunction with charity Waterloo 200, the monument stands as a tribute to the 24,000 Allied soldiers who died on the field of battle. The 1815 military victory saw the Duke of Wellington and his forces defeat the armies of Napoleon Bonaparte once and for all, securing British, European and global dominance. In addition to the reenactors, a host of distinguished speakers and the descendants of soldiers who fought at the battle were also in attendance, with the memorial itself being unveiled by the current Duke of Wellington.
This all started about 10 years ago when, in 2005, people were commemorating the Battle of Trafalgar. So those of us interested in Waterloo looked at each other and said, well, who's going to get this organised in 10 years' time? It's commemoration, not celebration, because no war should be celebrated.
We selected the reverse of the Waterloo campaign medal as the main centrepiece of the memorial because it represents an adequate and eloquent illustration of the meaning of the battle and the significance of the victory.
Reenacting is getting hold of the original source material, could be war diaries, there were people at the time, accounts of the battles, and then to the very best of your ability, making that come to life and making it an immersive experience for everybody who's involved. Read what these people were up to, and then if you find that very interesting, and you will, because it's a story, come and join us. Come and meet us. We will give you an empathic and immersive experience, and you'll get hooked.
This is the medal which was given to my ancestor, has been passed down from generation to generation, and there's the obverse of it with the Prince Regent's bust on it, and around the edge is his name, George Stemp, Royal Wagon Train, and it was given to every soldier who fought in the Battle of Waterloo beforehand. Before then, medals were only awarded to officers, and this was the first medal ever given to all ranks.
I think it's very striking. I think it's very formal, which I think is right. It's got a sense of occasion about it.
Whilst Waterloo was this massive victory, I think the inscription particularly is kind of poignant in saying actually there's a lot of loss there as well as victory too. So I like the understated nature of it, yeah.
Well, I think the extraordinary thing is that there never has been a memorial, a national memorial to those that fought at the Battle of Waterloo. I don't think that the concept of memorials really came about until the First World War. But it's wonderful that now, at last, there is going to be a memorial, and no better place for it to be than at Waterloo Railway Station.
Next up, a theatre company in Whitechapel is enabling disadvantaged and homeless young people to come together and make theatre.
David Reddy went to find out how these young people are using theatre as a way to convey their stories.
No one can hear me, even though I raise my voice to be heard.
You just want to melt away, because everything seems grey. The price of an eternally broken life.
Creativity and performing is an important outlet for young people. And here at the platform in Islington, Speakeasy, part of Cardboard Citizens' programme Act Now,
provides young people who are homeless or at risk of homelessness with an opportunity to perform and express their experiences through theatre.
Well, we just had the 9 days. We just made it for 9 days. 9 days was a short to make it. But I think we did it brilliant and just getting ideas together.
Their story started in a small backstreet of Whitechapel, where they were trained by Cardboard Citizens in theatre and spoken word. The workshop allowed them to showcase their creativity through freedom of expression and overcome challenges that come with homelessness.
We asked the question, what does freedom of expression mean to you? What is creative expression about? What happens if we are denied access to freedom of expression or creative expression? And what we discovered was that there's a whole long list of how it adds value or benefit, or the positive role that it has to play in our lives, and how it can help us to feel better and function better.
I moved here to London because it's not really easy for transgender to live in Poland.
or anyone who is out of the societal norms. I thought about my dream with the TV and drama, so being the BBC and stuff like that. And you need to know how to overcome your boundaries. I would say that's why I really like drama, because I learned how to overcome my boundaries.
At the Platform Theatre in Islington, young people put the skills they had gained in the workshop to use, creating the persona of Charlie, a character who embodies the issues that many of these young people are facing.
Because Charlie was based on real life people's situations and scenarios, that was kind of trying to show what we are going through and how we can resolve what we're going through and whatever alternative and options could there possibly be.
Acting is not about just action and stuff, it's about inspiring people, it's about hearing your voice out and stuff. Music as well. I mean, everything that we do around here internationally is just a culture to change the world.
This project opened me up confidently and in ways of expressing myself, not only through music but through acting, spoken words and poetry, which are other genres and other ways of expressing yourself creatively.
The one thing I really took away from it was just how amazing it was to put it together in such a short amount of time that they had. It was just really incredible, the quality of work and how comfortable they all seemed on stage and just how they all gelled together as well. So 3 weeks, like complete strangers, they felt like they knew each other for months.
There is no competition. No one is saying you're the worst one, you're the best one, or something like that. Everyone is equal. Everyone has probably different skills, but at the end, when we are doing the play, everyone is equal. Everyone is brilliant in any role they got.
Open up and express. Take two hands and grab onto the opportunities. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out!
Whether it be football, tennis, rugby or athletics, we are a nation in love with sports.
Although we enjoy the end product, we don't often give much thought to where the journey of our elite athletes begins.
We went to find out more. A South London school has beaten over 100 competitors from across the UK to come second in the world's largest school rugby competition. In a final played in front of tens of thousands of spectators at Twickenham Stadium.
Playing at Twickenham Stadium, it's a dream. I loved every minute of it.
When I was on the pitch, seeing all the people in the crowd and also, school at Twickenham, it's amazing.
It's helped me to know that I'm capable of doing anything.
The day itself will stick in their memories, for the rest of their lives, because they'll probably never get another opportunity like that to play in front of 70,000 people in one of the major stadiums in the world.
And whether they won the game or lost the game, the fact that they got to be in the final and the opportunity to play there is an unbelievable thing.
Although an achievement in itself, their success is made even more poignant when we consider the fact that John Fisher is a state school. The 2012 Olympics was a period that brought the nation together. However, although the Olympics proved to be a largely inclusive event in the stands, the same wasn't true of the tracks, swimming pools or courts. Of those who won medals in Team GB, 41% were educated in the private sector. A figure that led school governing body Ofsted to conduct an investigation, which found that despite only 7% of young people attending independent schools, 1/3 of our elite athletes are privately educated. A figure that rises to 50% when football is removed.
The differences between state and private schools come down largely to two things, and they are resources and time.
State schools are dictated to by what they can teach, and also they're restricted in time in the day. So sport essentially gets squeezed out of the curriculum.
Well, we need more money put into sport. They keep saying they see the value of sport, but they're not really putting their hands in their pockets and providing for it.
What I find particularly galling is this political rhetoric that really blames state schools. Teachers are under so much pressure these days to get that outstanding Ofsted grade or to get the good Ofsted grade or to get the exams, and without that their jobs are under threat now.
Despite the challenges, state schools continue to produce elite talent.
Something that state schools like John Fisher did very well. We had the right role models as teachers. It was something that for me made my journey going from a amateur, from a child into a senior a lot easier, and it gave me a great springboard to become a professional athlete. Without the type of teachers that were there and without the camaraderie with the other students, I wouldn't be the guy I am today.
I came from a very good state school who opened me up to a world of sports and facilities that I probably would never have accessed. I really credit that school for giving me the courage to go out and do my sport as best as I can do it.
I was really lucky to be involved with Mo Farah from an early age. When he came to that school, he was an exceptionally talented athlete. And I felt great responsibility to support that and support him through difficult times that he had in going from a very talented athlete to becoming the person that he is today. What it showed me was that anything can be achieved if there are the right resources, the right time and the right attitudes.
Schools talk about ethos, schools talk about tradition, giving certain values to pupils so that when they leave school they're able to take jobs, bring up a family, have an enjoyable life. We like to think that we install those values in through sport.
That's it for this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed the show.
If you'd like to stay updated with what goes on behind the scenes here, follow us on Twitter at London_360.
And remember, keep it 360.